Muted.
There we go. Sorry. Welcome to the Pub Sports Radio NBA Pub. You can tell it's a Saturday show, right? NBA Pub Saturday, June the 5th. Ian Cameron, Skee Prophet, Conor Mac, Dutch Boy Fresh with you, ready to break down the NBA playoffs. The second round is just about here. There's one game left in the first round, thanks to the LA Clippers getting the job done last night against the Dallas Mavericks, forcing a Game 7. It's now perfect 6-0 in that series, straight up and against the spread for the road team. And Kawhi Leonard is exactly the reason we're in a Game 7 in this series. A magnificent performance at the offensive end, coming off a game where he didn't really shoot that well in Game 5. Over 40 points for Kawhi. We all liked him to go over the point total, so that was an easy one. Luka, though, fell short of his, and a tough night for the Mavericks. And again, they go as Luka Doncic goes, and the Dallas Mavericks, I thought their offense completely just stalled in the fourth quarter. Product of just bad shot selection, a little bit. Product of it was good Clipper defense. So here we go again, Game 7, and we will talk about Game 7 tomorrow. But the Clippers survive, stay alive with a Game 6 win to force Game 7 tomorrow against the Dallas Mavericks. Skee Prophet, quick thoughts last night. Clippers, to my disappointment, they've stayed alive, forced to Game 7, and has Dallas blown their chance, or could they keep this road streak intact and still be able to win a game in LA tomorrow? We'll see.
I think Dallas still has a chance. I mean, Kawhi went off like he's supposed to after his previous performances, but you still got Luka on your team. You still got a chance. So best player on the floor, in my opinion, even though Kawhi outdid him yesterday. So we'll see if they can get it done in 7.
We definitely will. We'll talk about that game tomorrow. Dutch, it was a bit all over the place for me. Side and total came up short for me, but Kawhi's prop got there, and Kawhi's the reason we're in Game 7. Simple as that.
Yeah, big shout out to motherfucking Kawhi. He showed up. I'm glad I stayed off the side. He real easy on that over 29.5. Shout out to the chat real quick. Max on records. My guy Ray Charles. I see you, Wyatt Chapman. Yeah, man, this is my baby. But yeah, when it comes to the last night, we did get there with the freshest look. I do feel, I feel a little bit for a lot because I did get a lot of, people hit me up about they're on the 48.5. It ended up, he did land on 48. Obviously, I gave it to you at 47.5. Some people just don't have the options of going to multiple books. Sorry for that. But yeah, we hit it there. Came up a little short. Had over 29.5. Got on very early, and he lands on 29. That for Luka, not very nice. And finished the day 2-2 with a nice little profit. But yeah, man, it's Kawhi. To me, they've got to do something. I mean, Kawhi gonna do 45, and it's an easy 45. So we'll take a look in the Game 7. But maybe the Clippers might have, they might have did what they were supposed to do, and they might take this series.
Yeah, no question. Conor Mac, Clippers stay alive last night and forced Game 7.
Yeah, Kawhi was just huge. I mean,
easy.
He played like he was supposed to play. Yeah, just hit big shots down the stretch. Thought the game was close. The Mavs played well. Bad fourth quarter. Bad looks, kind of standing around. Luka was a little bit off early, hit some shots late, but it was too much. Yeah, Clippers defense was a little bit better, but yeah, they need just a little more help. For Luka. Just I don't know if there's enough with Hardaway. Dude, Porzingis was nowhere, 7 points, and I didn't think he did shit in that game. I mean, He's got to score at least 15 and get 10 boards in this next game, or Clippers are going to win, or Luka's got to go off for 45, 50. But it was a good day, other than the Mavs losing. Kawhi over threes. Reggie Jackson came up big. He was huge and he hit over 13.5 and over his threes, so both were plus money. So that was good. So a good 4-1 day. But let's get to today. Bucks next.
And today we have just the one game. We'll also talk Atlanta-Philly after that because it's the early game. It'll just be starting when we do the Sunday show. So we're going to talk a little about that today as well. We'll talk about it a little tomorrow too, briefly. We'll reiterate what we like, and plus we'll give Dutch a chance too. He's not going to have his props finalized till morning of, so it'll give him a chance tomorrow to tell everyone what he's on for props early for that Hawks-Sixers game tomorrow at the beginning of the Sunday show. But this is the series, one of the series that everybody's looking forward to here. Milwaukee and Brooklyn. We have the Nets 4.0 favorites in Game 1. The total's been bet down. It was in the 240s. It's 239.5 now in this one. It should be an excellent matchup on paper. I think it'll be a very competitive, long, drawn-out series. The Bucks end up rolling past Miami in the first round. Brooklyn taking care of business against Boston in the first round. And so here we are. For the Nets, I still need to see them defensively get it done against a much better opponent. Boston was totally out of sorts this season. They didn't play well in the second half. Now they're going to be meeting up against a much tougher, sterner test in the Milwaukee Bucks, who I still think when you look at defensive ability, I trust them a little bit more at that end of the floor than Brooklyn going into this series. Game one's going to be interesting because there's been a layoff for both of these teams. So I don't really love either side or either total in this game. I think this could stay under. I was saying that. My lean is actually to the under. And I'm not a big under guy, but I would lean that way here tonight with 239.5. If you guys remember, Boston and Brooklyn game one stayed way under the total. It didn't even come close to that where that posted total was in game one. And the same thing with Milwaukee, in their first round game one against Miami. In fact, that game went to overtime and it still stayed under the total. The Heat and the Bucks in game one. So I would honestly only look under the total. There could be a feeling out process early. The one thing I would look more toward in this game is the props. I was debating James Harden or Kevin Durant, who is going to be the predominant scorer tonight for the Nets. And when you look at the matchups, Giannis is going to be obviously a focal point here on Durant. You're going to be looking at mostly Drew Holiday on Kyrie Irving. And DiVincenzo is probably going to be spying Harden quite a bit. But guess what? It's not delivery. It's DiVincenzo is closed up shop, no deliveries. He's out for the foreseeable future. So as a result, you're going to have to put someone like, I don't know, Lopez, maybe Middleton on Harden. And I think this is where Harden is going to have to say, you know what? Instead of me being the passer, he's kind of been the pseudo point guard for the Nets since he's been there. I'm going to have to take the onus on myself to shoot the ball, be a scorer in this game tonight here for the Brooklyn Nets. So I am intrigued by Harden over his point total. It's 26.5, 27.5 at most books, depending on which one you're looking at. So I like his point total over tonight. That's probably one of my favorite props, James Harden, in this one. Other than that, it's one of those games where I just rather sit it out, watch these two teams play game one, and then we'll use what we see to go forward with game two and beyond. Because I know there'll be a good side and total opinion for me in game two based on what I see in game one. But tonight, I guess Milwaukee plus the points if I had to lean somewhere, but I'm just going to sit it out. And just the main bet for me is going to be Harden over his point total. Skee, what do you think here tonight? Game one, Nets and Bucks.
Yeah, advantage that we have as bettors is we don't have to bet every single game. And there's only one NBA game on the board, and I don't like it. I made the mistake yesterday of going with the over in the game that I didn't really like, so I'm not making that mistake today. But I'll talk about the game with you guys. If I have to play it, I will look towards Harden to get assists because that's who's going to run the show. KD has been shooting it well all playoffs, and he's going to get his shot attempts over 29.5. Probably looks good. Giannis, he probably goes up on his rebounds because Brooklyn doesn't have that much size, and I just think he could have success there. So those are ways that I look to play the prop market. And if I'm going to play the game, I'll be playing Brooklyn. My friend Ralph Michaels tweeted out a stat. Home teams, this is a playoff system. Home teams off a win of 10 or more points. They shot 50% or more. They made 84% or more of their free throws and assisted on 45% of their baskets. They're 21-1, 96%. So lean Brooklyn and those other guys for props.
All right, Dutch, what do you like here tonight with Milwaukee, Brooklyn, game one?
Yeah, so from a side perspective, I really like Milwaukee here, but I'm with you guys though. Like, I mean, you don't have to bet this game. So if I can, I'm really looking to lock in that first half, but I haven't locked in anything yet. I just feel like they're better first half team. Then they just been covering first half for us all through the series against Miami. Obviously, this is a different series, but Brooklyn has a tendency to start slow as well. But I really like Milwaukee from a matchup standpoint. I know you mentioned that DiVincenzo is not going to be, out there. From what I've heard, PJ Tucker will be starting. I like Tucker in a matchup from a defense aspect in this here. I think you put him on Harden. He knows Harden's game. I do believe Harden will get his. We talked about this a little bit. I'm not mad at that prop at all. But I believe Drew Holiday should be shadowing Kyrie and it should be Drew Holiday all over Kyrie. I love that matchup. Perfect matchup, I believe. I know Kyrie, can get his and can go off at any time, but I really like Drew Holiday against him. And then, of course, you got Giannis to guard KD. Nobody's stopping KD, one of the best offensive talents we'll ever see. He's going to get his, but he's going to have to work. And I believe Giannis will get his on the offensive end. And 13.5 rebounds, I locked that in early at -105. I do not see how he doesn't get 15-plus rebounds, just completely outworking them. They have a problem on the Brooklyn has a problem on the defense of rebounding, and it's going to be a big problem when Giannis is in the building. When it looks at Brook Lopez, I actually look at him to attack the boards as well. Pretty much, I don't see where they're going to stop Brooklyn from a defensive aspect. I don't see where they're going to stop Milwaukee in the paint. They have nobody. Blake Griffin. I mean, KD is your shot blocker. Or Blake. Then you bring it. They don't have anything off the bench when it comes to stopping them from a defensive aspect. They cannot protect the paint. So I actually really like Milwaukee in this series. I know a lot of people love Brooklyn, but I think Giannis is going to eat. I really like the over 31.5 points. I dropped -120 on it. I know it's 32.5 out there, but over 31.5 points. He's averaging 39.5 points in the 3 games this year against Brooklyn. With whoever, KD was on the court all 3 games too. So you can look it up, check it out. All 3 games, Giannis guy is getting his. Expect him to go over rebounds and points. And like I mentioned, you talked about James Harden a little bit. I expect him to be pretty much the guy who gets off the most. I look for him to go over 45.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Now, we only had 1 game against them with Brooklyn this year, and he went 34, 12, and 6. So I'm going to go ahead and lock in James Harden over 45.5 points, rebounds, and assists, and I got that at -115. Shout out to my guy Turnsy. I see you, MMA Locker Room, Derek Pryor. Salute to everybody in the chat. But that's pretty much where I'm looking at. And I really like those 3 props. And I'm really looking at KD over 28.5 -115. I love this game from a prop aspect. I really, really do. And then he's averaging 34 against them in the 3 games this series. And you've seen KD. He's locked in against Boston. He's going to do – I don't think he will do what he wants compared to – because he does have Giannis. That's the only thing that scares me a little bit about this prop. But 28.5 is pretty nice for KD. And then, Ian, you did mention this one before. Forbes, 11.5 points.
I like that. I was just going to say that. I like that. That would be my Milwaukee player prop in this game. Bryn Forbes over 11.5 points.
Yeah, I mean he's went over 15 or he's went over this number in all 3 meetings versus Brooklyn this year. All right, in the regular season, and he averaged 15 points against Miami. So 11.5, that just stood out to me. I haven't locked that one in, but I'm telling you, I think we can clean up here from a prop perspective. I'll tweet out everything I'm on before the game just to make sure we're all on the same page. But I definitely like Giannis, and James Harden to handle business today.
Yeah, those are the ones I target. Harden and Forbes. Like I said in the series preview yesterday, Bryn Forbes can be that X factor for Milwaukee. Another option. You know what you're going to get from Giannis and Middleton offensively and others. If he can keep shooting that 3 like he did against Miami, that's good news for Milwaukee. So I like that over 11.5. I don't hate his over 2.5 made 3s in the game either. I think that's something you could look at. So I like Bryn Forbes props as well in this game. I'm also tempted by, because this guy, it seems later in the playoffs, seems to shoot more 3s for some reason. I don't know why for Milwaukee, but all he's got to do is make 1 and you cash this. Brook Lopez over half a 3-pointer, just to make 1 essentially. Yeah, just to make a 3-pointer, -145, 1. It's all he has to do. And once in a while, you'll see him just step out there on that perimeter and drain a 3-point Jimmy. Hopefully we get one from Brook Lopez tonight. So I might go on that too, over 0.5. Essentially, Brook Lopez to score a 3-point bucket, -145 tonight. Connor, what do you think here? Nets and Bucks.
Yeah, this game I don't love the side really either. I kind of want to watch game 1 to see how it goes. I'd lean under. I'm with you guys. 240. I mean, you might have to sweat it out. But I'm staying off the side in total. But I lean that way. I see 240s up already a few places as well. But I lean under. It just might be a sweat. The offenses are going to score, but yeah, it could be a tough one. All I like the Giannis over 13.5. That's what I've written down. -105. Dutch, I agree.
Excuse me.
Holiday over 7.5 assists. I saw Ray Charles shout out. It was -125. Like he mentioned, he bumped it up. You get plus money over 8.5. And my other guy, James Harden, over 27.5 +105. I think he's the guy. I think Durant's good. I'm gonna stay off Irving and his points and stuff. Props. Harden's the guy with the ball. He's the point guard. His assists over 10.5 as well. I don't think I'm gonna bet that, but it's plus money. I just wish it was 9.5, not 10.5, but I still think he gets over that as well. That's +105 as well, over 10.5 assists. So
Yeah,
I'm looking Giannis boards, Harden points, and the Holiday and Harden ones are good looks. I don't know if I bet those, but I think they're solid looks today actually. And yeah, I think it's going to be good. I think the series, I talked about it yesterday. I thought a good bet. It was Jude -150, but if you put the money down, I think this game's going 6. So over 5.5, that was a good bet. I think if you can still get that in, it's moved to -160. I think the other series that we're going to talk about, Hawks Philly, might be a good bet over the 5.5 as well with that look.
Yeah, it could. That's what we'll talk about now. Atlanta, Philadelphia. We're going to talk about this one today a little bit because it starts at 1 p.m. Eastern, which is when our show starts tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll do the props for this game because there's not all books have props yet for this game. So we'll talk about props for this game right at the beginning of tomorrow's show. This is just side and total opinions as of right now. We've got Philly 3-point home favorites, 220.5 the total. I think Atlanta could take game one. I think there's going to be a mini adjustment period without Embiid, assuming he doesn't play game one. And Atlanta could take game one. I like Philly in the series, but I think game one's a tough spot for Philly with that adjustment that they're going to need. I think that time that they're going to need maybe to, especially now going from playing Washington. Look, they got by Washington without him, but that's not saying a whole lot. Atlanta's going to be a much taller order. I think in game one, Atlanta could, basically take them by surprise, a little bit of a slow start to the series for Philly, and then they adjust from there, which I expect them to. And I still think, as I said, they could win this series, even if Joel Embiid doesn't play in it. But again, that all of that is still up in the air. But right now I'm leaning Atlanta +3 in game one. The total 220.5 is tough because without Embiid, you're worse defensively, but you also take away a lot of his points around the rim. So I don't know if it's a great thing or a terrible thing for the over or for the under being without him. So I don't have a strong opinion on the total in game one. I think maybe I would lean under. I do prefer unders in game one more than anything. Usually game one is the spot to hit the under if you like that, kind of like the way I feel about the Brooklyn game tonight. So lean to the under, but I am definitely got Atlanta +3 on my radar as potential bet for game one tomorrow. Skee, any initial thoughts, side total, game one, Atlanta, Philly?
I'll talk about it tomorrow. We're going to do the show tomorrow. I don't have any picks. I don't have any plays, so I'll just wait for tomorrow.
All right, good stuff. Same with you, Dutch. I think you said tomorrow, wait for it. And the props will be out, later today, and we'll talk about those tomorrow.
Yeah, just real quick. The Preston says the guy holding the 20K ticket on the Hawks to win the East 40-1 must be sitting pretty. Bro, that dude's tripping. The Hawks ain't winning no East. I don't give a fuck what you say. What that guy said. But all love though. No, my guy Turnsey, shout out to Turnsey. Yeah, like I said, like pretty much Skee said, we'll talk about it tomorrow. I'm gonna attack this game from a prop perspective, and I would probably look at the under as well. I believe Bill McDonald in the chat too was talking about Middleton over 21.5. I like that. I like a lot of props in this game. I expect there to be some points to be scored. At 240, I think it's a sharp number. It'll be right around, 235, right in that area, I believe. But yeah, like I'm not mad at that, Bill. But yeah, I'll talk about the Sixers in Atlanta tomorrow.
And remember, Philly didn't play great in game one against Washington, and we all saw what Atlanta did in game one against New York. They were ready to go. They were ready to play. So that's another thing that might lead to some evidence and help you with your argument if you like Atlanta here in game one. Any initial thoughts, Connor, tomorrow, game one here, Hawks Sixers?
Damn, Eric Chang checking in from the Seagull Suites. Nah, man.
Oh, man.
Come on, dog.
He landed on 48, bro. He hit me last night. Yeah, shout out to Eric Chang, bro. I know you. I hope you
shit,
at
bro.
least. Yeah, landed on 48 on that shit. That's gross. My bad.
That is. Yeah, tomorrow I lean under too. The Hawks, once they made the coaching change, kind of were an under team, slower pace, and I think the defense ratchets up. So I think the number's pretty sharp, but I'm leaning under 221, 220.5 here. And I lean Philly, but I don't love it. I kind of want to see this without Embiid, like you said. Is that going to be worse without his points, without him being by the rim? So I'm definitely going to be watching game one. I will be on some props for this one tomorrow.
All right. Yeah, we will talk props for this game right at the start, 1 p.m. Eastern of tomorrow's show. And, of course, Dallas Clippers will be all over that on tomorrow's show. Game 7, side total, and props. Probably like my colleagues here, will probably be on more props than the actual side and total tomorrow of both games when it's all said and done. All right, we'll get to best bets in just a second to wrap up the show. Before we do that, Manscaped and Southtown 101, a couple messages from them. Southtown 101, when you're in San Antonio, check them out. Great food, drinks, live music. Southtown 101 in downtown San Antonio. Manscaped, promo code PubSports, 20% off your order. Take care of yourself, guys, out there with the Manscaped grooming products, promo code PubSports. MyBookie.ag, check them out. NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs, MLB daily. We've got U.S. Open golf. The next major is, I think, next weekend, so it's right around the corner. We've got football is going to be here in 2 months. Great time to check out mybookie.ag. Promo code PubSports. Use Bitcoin as an accepted currency for your deposit with mybookie.ag and the promo code PubSports. All right, it is time for best bets. Slim pickings, guys. We only have one game tonight, but we got to pick a best bet somewhere. I'm going to start because I've got mine locked in already. Bryn Forbes over 11.5 points. Player prop best bet. He gets it going, I think. I love the way he was confident shooting the basketball. Stroke with the form was on point. He was very, very impactful offensively, and he's going to need to bring his offense. Look, you're going against a loaded gun range right here with this Brooklyn Nets team. You've got to be able to match them in that department, and this is where a Bryn Forbes could really come in handy for Milwaukee. So I like Bryn Forbes over 11.5 points as my player prop best bet for tonight's game one between Milwaukee and Brooklyn. Skee Profit, I know you don't love the game, so you can pass. Like, we don't want to force a best bet actually for you because I know you don't have a strong opinion on it, but strongest stance on the game, if you will, what would it be?
Yeah, if I was playing this game, I would just take Brooklyn, and doesn't make sense to take the series price when the money line is less. So that's the way I would look if I was playing this game.
All right, Brooklyn -4 it would be for Skee. All right, Dutch, best bet or freshest look for Dutch.
Yeah, man, freshest look. Shout out to Brian Watson. Shout out to my guy Brees Beats. I see you, bro. Yeah, the freshest look. All right, just to be clear today, I'm gonna put out some props. I'm doing everything 1 unit. The freshest look usually is 2 units, but I'm doing everything 1 unit today. But I do like this prop a lot. We're going Giannis over 31.5 points, -120. Like I mentioned, 39.5 points in 3 meetings this year versus Brooklyn. He can do what he wants against this team. They have nothing, absolutely nothing, nada for the Greek, the motherfucking freak. Over 31.5 points. Let's go.
All right, there we go. Giannis to get the job done. Player prop for Dutch Boy Fresh for his freshest look on this Saturday. Conor Mac, you're up. Best bet.
Yeah, we talked about that, Mark. The Drew Holiday over 7.5 assists is a good look. I love Giannis over 13.5 rebounds, but give me James Harden over 27.5 points at +105. He gets his today. I think he gets over that. And the Nets probably win. I think it'll be a good game, though. I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, very good. It should be good. James Harden, it is time. Get that beard going. Over 27.5 points. Best bet for Conor Mac. All right, that is a wrap for the NBA Pub Hub for Saturday. We will be back tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. We'll hit the Hawks Sixers one more time again with the props specifically, and also Dallas, LA Clippers for all the marbles. Game 7, winner go home. Mavericks Clippers. We'll talk about that tomorrow on the Sunday edition of the NBA Pub Hub. Join us for that. For Skee Profit, Dutch Boy Fresh, Conor Mac, I'm Ian Cameron. Let's have a great Saturday and cash some tickets. And we'll see you again tomorrow on Sunday for another edition of the NBA Pub Hub on Pub Sports Radio. Dutch, take us home.
Yeah, man. Wyatt, you know this. We always lay the wood. Y'all stay fresh, stay blessed, and let's stay putting these motherfucking bookies to rest.
We be pubbing. Let's go. Saturday, Belmont.